Testing 1 2, testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Mic check. Mic check, mic check. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Shalom to you, Rami. Hope you're doing well. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Test, test, test. Is my microphone working clear? If everything is clear, put a 1 in the chat, please. If the audio is clear and you can hear everything without any feedback or static or noise, put a 1 in the chat, please. Is my audio clear, or is there any feedback? I'm getting 1. Okay. Awesome, awesome. All right. I'm glad that the audio is working well. We can get started with the show. I have a guest that's going to join on later on. His name is Pierre. When he comes on, please alert me so that way I'm familiar that he's on here, and I can have him join on this particular episode. So this is going to be a headbanger, you all. This is going to go into some sensitive information, revealing, shalom to you, Bertha, I hope you're doing well, revealing certain things. The reason why I'm going over this particular live is because somebody asked me if I could cover this information, and I will. This is not suitable for people that are sensitive. So we're going to talk about Codename Rainbow today. We're going to get into many of the various things affiliated with Codename Rainbow. And if you are sensitive to biblical-based information, then just exit the live now. I speak now. You know how they say, speak now or forever hold your peace? Leave now or forever hold your peace. Meaning, don't come on my TikTok and say anything that's egregious, because we're speaking against certain things that are going on in today's society. You understand? So the first thing we're going to touch on, ladies and gentlemen, is the Super Bowl. How many of y'all saw the Super Bowl? How many of y'all, did you guys enjoy the Super Bowl? I have a utmost apathy towards sports, because I feel like sports is just a benign mockery towards intelligent people. Intelligent people don't sit and watch people run around with the ball in their hand. But, whatever floats your boat, right? If you like it, cool. But if you actually research far enough, it was just a distraction made to numb the senses from the reality of corporate control, government control, and things of that nature. So recently, they had a show with two famous prominent celebrities, one by the name of Usher Raymond and another one by the name of Alicia Keys. Now, we all know, or we should know, that Alicia Keys is a married woman. Alicia Keys is a married woman. But the strange thing about it, people have a tendency to forget history. People have a tendency to forget history. This woman is married to Swiss Beats, yeah? This woman is married to... How did she acquire Swiss Beats? Was not Swiss Beats a married man, yes or no? Was not prior to Swiss Beats being involved with Alicia Keys, was he not married to another woman, yes or no? Yeah, they're still making artist money, right? So this married woman is having another male gyrate on her. Y'all don't see nothing wrong with that? So not only did she commit adultery by causing Swiss Beats to leave his wife for her. You see, this is why I put out a disclaimer. This is why I put out a disclaimer that this discussion is going to be sensitive. So if you're sensitive to people sharing their opinions and thoughts, that do not coincide with your worldview, then just keep scrolling and watch people, twerk and dance and all the other stuff, that you normally see. But what I'm going to do is go over biblical based information to hopefully deprogram many of the people that think that adultery is cool, people that are cheating on each other and doing things that are inappropriate is cool. Okay, so if you have proclivities to being sensitive and you say, oh, someone speaking against someone's immoral actions is bad, then get the hell off my live. I'm just going to tell you straight, I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not here to give you a hug. I'm not here to say, oh, baby, it's going to be all right. We're living in a wicked society today, and this society will lead people to destruction. Many broken homes and families happen due to the influence of R&B music. Many people are mentally brainwashed by music that brings forth people to commit immoral acts. You see, I already got people that's like, yo, I want to come up and speak on it. I got one guest that's going to come up. Okay, I got one guest that's going to come up, but Mask, I'm going to ask you to just hold on, because I got another guest that's going to come on and we're going to talk about this matter. So just sit in the audience for a while, hang out, let's sit and talk about it. Okay. So now, people will like to say in the Christian community, do not judge. But when they go to the courtroom after getting a speeding ticket, they don't say to the judge, don't judge me, judge. Christians are walking atheists. I'm going to tell you straight. Majority of the people that profess themselves to be Christian have never read the Bible. Somebody said, be humble. Now I gotta censor myself because I'm talking too loud. It's a loud black man. Oh, everybody run for your life. Listen, I'm going to be sarcastic on this live. I'm going to be very upfront on this live. I'm going to be very vocal on this live. So if you have some sort of sensitivities, just keep scrolling. I'm just going to continue saying that throughout this live. If you do not have discernment, guess what? Here's the funny thing about it. There's a whole entire book in the Bible called the Book of Judges. Wait a minute. The Christians say, don't judge me. Don't judge. There's an entire book in the Bible called Judges. What are you talking about? Many Christians don't read the Bible. Many Christians do not read the Bible. So when you talk about making informed decisions on morality, they say, no, don't judge. Listen, there's a difference between judgment and condemnation. You make judgments every day. You judge the fact that you're going to choose whether you're going to brush your teeth or not. You're making a decision. Judgment just means decision. Here's the problem. Many people in today's society lack judgment. They lack discernment. Condemnation is saying, oh, you're going to go to hell and you're going to be unalived and all. I have not said that on this live. I have not said that. Okay. So we need to understand this. Watch this. Let's go to 2 Corinthians for the Christian that does not read the Bible. Watch this. 2 Corinthians chapter 6. Actually, 1 Corinthians chapter 6. Watch this. Listen close. 1 Corinthians. This conversation is going to make people sit on the edge of their seats. I can guarantee you that. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 2. Do you not know, listen to this, do you not know that the saints shall judge the world? What does the Bible say? Do you not know that the saints shall judge the world? And if the world shall be judged by you, are you not unworthy to judge the smallest matters? So what is the Bible saying? The Bible is saying, are you not worthy to have discernment on the smallest things? So now, question for the critical thinkers in the live right now. Should a married person have affection and bumping and grinding on people that is not their spouse? Yes or no? Let me make it more personal. Do you want your spouse to be bumping and grinding on somebody else? Yes or no? The answer is no. Okay, absolutely no. So why is it when it's a celebrity, oh, all of a sudden it's okay? Why is it when it's an actor or an actress, oh, it's okay? Why is it when it's somebody that's making money in the industry, oh, it's okay? No, y'all delusional out here. Use your good sense. If you love your neighbor as yourself, if you love your family as yourself, if you love your people as yourself, you're going to say there's certain things that you're going to accept and certain things that you will not accept. It's really that simple. If you don't want your spouse doing it to you, you shouldn't say it's okay for someone else's spouse to do it. That's the problem. People do not have good judgment. They make bad decisions. That's basically what that means. Watch this. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 2. Do you not know? Do you not know that the saints shall judge the world? And if the world should be judged by you, are you not unworthy to judge the smallest matters? Know you not that we shall judge angels? Guess what? God is going to give us so much power that we're going to even judge the angels. The angels that you can't see, that are all around you, that you interact with, the demons that are all around people and they don't even know they exist. You'll be able to have a strong moral character and an immortal body on that day to judge even the demons that are around you that you can't see. Did Christ not make a decision and pass judgment when he saw people in the midst of lawless behavior and he was castigating the religious hypocrites of his time? Was he not doing that? Was he not saying, why are you making my father's house a house of merchandise? Oh, but because it's a celebrity, it's okay. Because it's a celebrity, it's fine. They can commit acts of idolatry, acts of softcore pornography right in front of your face, and you're just like, it's okay. It's 2024. We live free. People are delusional out here. Watch this. I'm going to show you something that many people don't read in the Christian church. The book of Sirach, chapter 9. The book of Sirach, chapter 9, verse 1. Be not jealous over the wife of thy bosom, and teach her not an evil lesson against thyself. Swiss Beats should have taught his wife, Alicia Keys, if you're gonna go out and sing, make sure you distance yourself from men. Make sure you're not bumping and grinding on other men. You could sing. There's nothing wrong with singing. But when other people are trying to have relations with your spouse, that's a no-no. Listen. People will listen to this. People will give 6 feet of space over the common cold. Y'all remember C19 in 2019? You gave 6 feet of space when it came to that. You didn't want somebody to cough on you, right? But after the so-called pandemic, oh, it's okay. Somebody could come and bump and grind next to your wife. Make it make sense. Watch this. Verse 2. Give not thy soul unto woman to set her foot upon thy substance. Meet not with a harlot, lest thou fall into her snares. Usher should have took this advice. Use not much the company of a woman that is a singer. What does the Bible say? Do not use the company of a woman that is a singer, unless you be taken with her attempts. Meaning what? The brother looking at her, he like, look at that girl in that dress. The brother looking at her, he's like, she kind of look good. Y'all see how the man biting his lips, closing his eyes? He's fantasizing right now in this picture right here. He is fantasizing about another man's wife. And what did Jesus say? What did Jesus say? If you look at a woman and lust at her in her heart, that means you committed adultery already. The act starts in your mind. The act starts. I told you that this TikTok live was going to be controversy. Did I not? Look, my comment board is lit up. They say, don't talk about it. Brother, stop. Don't do it. Listen, a performance. Have you ever heard of what's called method acting? Because somebody said, oh, it's just a performance. Have you ever heard of what's called method acting? Method acting is when people basically brainwash themselves to create a certain role that they want to enact. Okay? Understand that. There are people that do what's called method acting, and they get so entrenched in the quote unquote act that they brainwash themselves to believe something is true. There have been countless celebrities, actors and actresses that have gotten into roles where they played a certain role, and guess what ended up happening? They ended up getting into a relationship with the person that they were quote unquote acting with. Y'all never heard stories of people doing kissing scenes, and then all of a sudden, oh, Brad Pitt and such and such, they were in a movie together and they kissed in the movie. And next thing you know, they're in a full-fledged relationship because they were acting. Yeah. It was all pretend, quote unquote, pretend. What does the Bible say? Let's read it again. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 9, verse 4. Use not much the company of a woman that is a singer, lest thou be taken with her attempts. Meaning what? A brother can look at a beautiful woman that's singing. Let's say Beyonce. Let's say Katy Perry. Let's say Jennifer Lopez. Let's say what's some other singers out here? Oh, there you go. Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. Thank you. Exactly. Cardi B. Let's say what's some Nicki Minaj. What's some other ones? Megan Thee Stallion. These are all prominent singers and celebrities, right? So what's going to happen when a brother gets caught up and he says, this woman is a beautiful singer. She looks good and I want her. What you going to do about it, Blanche? We have to understand that the Bible has rules and regulations that will guide us on what to do and what not to do, especially in a society that pushes Codename Rainbow. Codename Rainbow. We're going to get into it, y'all. We're going to get into it. Watch this. Verse 5. Gaze not on a maid that thou fall not by those things that are precious in her. You understand? So this young man, Usher Raymond, who's in his 40s, he's not a young man. He should be an adult by now. He should have enough good sense to say, I should not hug myself to another man's wife, nor should I look at her to see the things that are precious in her. Meaning he's looking at her body and he's not trying to intellectually engage with her. He's not trying to understand where. Listen, we have to come to the terms with reality. Most men are not interested in intellectual stimulation. The first thing they're looking at is the external appearance of a woman. So what does the Bible say? Gaze not, meaning don't look upon a woman that is not your spouse. Verse 6, give not thy soul unto hardness, that thou lose not thine inheritance. How many stories you've heard of men that get with certain women? She's a bad bee, right? Have you heard that term before? Oh, she's a bad bee. And next thing you know, that brother loses all his money, loses his mind and loses his money. Here it is. He's like, hey, I love her. I wanted to get with her. She's so fine. Next thing you know, they're filing for divorce. And next thing you know, he's crying at the courtroom. He's like, hey, I love this woman. I took her for my wife. Now she got all my kids. She rang me through the ringer. Now she's sleeping with my best friend. Listen, she's a bad bee, all right. Real bad for you, brother. And there's men that do this too. There's men that go out of their way to target women that are married in order to engage in a relationship with them, only to say to them, I want you to dump your husband. And as soon as that simple woman decides to do that, next thing he's like, I don't want you no more. I'm sorry. So it goes both ways across the plane. Y'all saw that Tyler Perry movie called Temptation? In the Tyler Perry movie called Temptation, you had a woman that was married to a brother. The woman was dissatisfied with the relationship for whatever reason. She said, I'm not happy. He's like, look, I'm trying to get my career on board. I'm trying to establish myself. Be patient with me. Let's build together. No, she want to meet the man at the finish line. So guess what happens? Knight in shining armor comes down and says, hey, baby, I know you're married, but I'll take care of you. You look so good. I want you to be mine. And what did she do? She fell for it hook, line, and sinker. Oh, look at him. He got a six-pack. Oh, look at him. He got $1 billion. Oh, look at him. He's rich. I'm going to leave my man. So she does. She leaves the man. And you come to find out that next thing you know, she catches AIDS. And that brother that laid down with her was like, zoop, sorry, I'm gone. The husband moves on, finds a new wife, establishes his business in the medical field, raking in millions. And now she's walking into his pharmacy trying to buy AIDS medication. You can't make this stuff up. That movie was a prime factor of many stories that happen in America. Make it make sense. Y'all delusional out here. So I have to give you something to clear your mind from the mental programming. You really think that the Super Bowl was made for your entertainment? You really think that those commercials that they spend billions of dollars upon was for your entertainment? You think that all the halftime shows was for your entertainment? They're trying to indoctrinate you. They're trying to mentally make you deficient to cause you to not think, for you to say, hey, this isn't normal. They'll make you say it's normal. The only way that they can have control over you is if you accept the demonic leeching, the spiritual attacks, meaning decrease the morality of the population and they can be easily controlled. This is why you can see human beings being unalived by civil servants and you feel nothing. Listen, in 2021, you saw police officers mounted on horses chasing people with whips in your hand, and you said absolutely nothing. You said, oh, they're an immigrant. Who cares about them? Y'all delusional out here. Knowing if it was your cousin or your sister or your brother being chased by an adult person on a horse with a whip in their hand, you would say, hold on, wait a minute. Something isn't right with this picture. Something isn't right with this picture. But because they're a quote unquote immigrant, oh, we don't care. No, it doesn't matter. You have been so mentally desensitized after watching Netflix, after watching Hulu, ABC, NBC, and whatever other broadcasts y'all watch on a continual basis, like the Super Bowl, that you can see people committing acts that are ungodly. And you say, oh, it's normal. It's just softcore, fornication, pornication. It's okay. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. It doesn't. And then when somebody comes and cheats on you, hey, why did your wife cheat on you, brother? Oh, because she was listening to R&B music all damn day. Oh, she was listening to Usher and Alicia Keys bump and grind in front of her, and she thought, you know what, if Alicia Keys could do it, I can too. Watch this. Look not round about thee in the streets of the city, neither wander thou in the solitary places thereof. What does the Bible say? Turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman. Brothers, I don't care how fine she is. I call it the curse of a big booty and a smile. That's what I call it. I don't care how fine she is. The Bible says, turn away your eyes from a beautiful woman. If you're married or you have an intention of being married to that woman that you're dealing with, I suggest that you say, I'm going to give myself a 20-second rule. If I'm looking at another woman and it's taking longer than 20 seconds, turn your face away from her. Same thing for the sisters. You think this was exclusive to the men? Because I know the sister's going to be like, amen, hallelujah, preach it, brother, tell it like it is. Oh, nah, stop the cap. Y'all be doing the same thing. I know how y'all get down. I know how y'all, ooh, girl, look at that man over there with them sweatpants. I know how it is. I know how it is. It's wintertime. He jogging in them sweatpants and you staring real hard. Real hard. You better stop. Stop the cap. This is for everybody. I am an equal opportunity offender. I love you to tell you the truth, and I will offend you at the same time. Listen, I do not side with the men. I do not side with the women. I am neutral. When it comes to the law called adultery, thou shalt not commit adultery applies to everybody. Everybody. Fix your face. Get your mind right. Somebody boo-hooing and crying in the background right now. They're like, I can't listen to the forefront. He's just too straightforward. Watch this. Verse 8. Turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman and look not upon another's beauty. For many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman. For herewith love is kindled as a fire. Tell me how many stories you've heard on the internet where prominent celebrities, I ain't gonna name no names, Nicki Minaj, I ain't gonna name no names, Meg Thee Stallion, I ain't gonna name no names, Cardi B, where they use their beauty to scam men. Have you not heard? Have you not heard? I've literally heard stories where sisters say, yeah, man, that dude was jonesing for me. He was looking at me real hard, and I said, that's a mark. That's what females do. Not all of them, not all, but some. And next thing you know, what's going on? That brother got hemmed up for all his money. I thought she loved me. I don't understand what happened. All I did was give her $3,000. Brother, why are you giving her $3,000? What's wrong with you? That's crazy. The book Ecclesiasticus was written by a man named Jesus, the son of Sirach. Okay? It's in the King James Version Apocrypha. So now, verse 9 tells us something interesting that every person should follow. Oh, somebody said, don't forget J-Lo. Who? Should I call her J-Lo or should I call her J something else? J-H-O. Y'all know what it means. Write it in the chat. J-H-O. That woman been in relationship after relationship after relationship. Ain't she like 50 or 60 now? When is this woman getting married? I don't know. But listen, this is what the Bible says. Sit not at all. Listen what the Bible says. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 9, verse 9. Usher needs to take this advice. Sit not at all with another man's wife, nor sit down with her in thine arms, and spend not thy money with her at the wine. So the Bible is saying, don't even attempt to sit down with another man's wife, nor should you spend your money with her. Don't take her out to eat. Don't go to dinner. Don't do any of that, brother. I'm trying to save somebody's life right now. I'm trying to save someone's life right now. Sit not at all with another man's wife, nor sit down with her in your arms, and spend not your money with her at wine. How many brothers get caught up? They say, oh, you know what? She look good. Let me take her out. Let's have a couple of drinks. Let's have some wine. The Moscato got you going from being righteous to being raunchy. Hello. That Hennessy got many brothers messed up. Don't do it, brother. Don't do it, sister. Lest thine heart incline unto her, and so through thy desire thou fall into destruction. Y'all see what the Bible says? How many stories have you heard? Put a 1 in the chat if you heard this. Brother dealing with a sister. Sister goes and cheats on a brother. Brother finds out another brother is dealing with his woman. Next thing you know, pew, pew, pew. Next thing you know, pow, pow, pow. Next thing you know, whoop, whoop, whoop. Somebody calling the cops. Put a 1 in the chat if you ain't see this coming. Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you've heard stories of people that been creeping around. What y'all call it today? Y'all call it sneaky link now. Ain't that what y'all call it now? Ain't that what y'all call it now? A sneaky link? That's adultery. Okay, Jada Pinkett Smith was like, I got caught up in a entanglement with that young man over. That's not no. You got entangled. How do you entangle yourself on another man's ride? That's not an entanglement. That's adultery. That's cheating. Yes, we still on this. Yes, we still on this. Because my people are foolish. My people are sottish. My people think it's entertainment. And then when there's dysfunctionality going on in the community, they're going to say, why is there such a high rate of divorce in the black community? Why is there such a high rate of STDs in the black community? Why is there this? Why is y'all stupid as hell? No, you're not stupid. You know it. You know you're wrong and you still do it anyways. That's what it is. You wise to do evil. That's what it is. I'm an equal opportunity offender. I will tell you the truth with love and sincerity, and I will tell you like it is. It is what it is. So how many of you understand, because I used to work in the music industry. I used to work in the medical field. I'm familiar with the techniques they use to brainwash people. They will say a chant over and over until it becomes so popular that it becomes normalized. Watch this. I'll give you an example. If I say, you remind me of my, what's the last part you're going to put in? All those R&B fans, you know what I'm talking about. If I say, you remind me of my, what's going to be the next word? What's the next word to the sentence? What's the next word to the sentence? Put it in the chat. Jeep. Exactly. That's a song that was over 20 years ago, but you still remember R. Kelly singing that song. You remind me of my Jeep. I want to ride. I can't sing word for damn. I'm sorry. But the point is made. You were mentally brainwashed to think that you could utilize another human being as a car. And you don't remember that song? Okay. You don't remember that song. Okay. Let's use another example. If I say, all the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies, who made that song? Who made that song? I know some single sister knows that song. Somebody said, bro, calm down. I'm out of here. Okay, go. Bye. Bye, Felicia. Beyonce, thank you. Thank you. So what we're going over, ladies and gentlemen, we're trying to assist you in seeing how you are mentally programmed through the entertainment industry. Something that is very raunchy and seductive is placed into your mind psychologically for you to accept and normalize. That's not normal. That's called propaganda. And then when somebody tries to reveal and say to you, look, you're being indoctrinated right now, you're being brainwashed, the people that are brainwashed are like, stop judging. You're trying to judge me. No, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to assist you because I see through it. They know she's a married woman. They know that this brother is going to be humping all up over, and they choreographed it for it to go down like that. So you can say, ooh, that was a good halftime show. Ooh, I like that thing. That was so raunchy. Ooh, wow. And next thing you know, you're cheating on your spouse. And you don't even realize it. You don't even realize you're being mentally manipulated. You don't realize you're being brainwashed by entertainment. Let me help you out. Because people, let's use some definitions. I like definitions. Define, enter. The word enter. The word enter means to come or go into a place. The term enter means to what? To get involved, to throw oneself, to participate. Okay, so now what does the term ment, M-E-N-T, mean? Okay, let's look at M-E-N-T. Definition. M-E-N-T, forming nouns, expressions, the means or result. Okay, merriment. Okay, let's look at another one. The word ment is short for what? Mental. Your mind, relating to the mind. Hold up, wait a minute. So now, entertain, what does tain mean? It's a root word for the word what? Contain. What does the term contain mean? To hold, to have or to hold, to control or restrain. So wait a minute. Entertain, to enter and control the mental. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, so entertainment is made to control your mind. Enter into your mind, contain your thoughts and your mental for a focused agenda. Let's look at another word. Let's look at the word media. M-E-D-I-A. Definition. Google search, let's find out. The means of mass communication. Plural form of medium. Plural form of medium. Let's click on medium and let's find out what medium means. Let's find out. Definition number 5 for medium is a person claiming to be in contact with spirits of the dead and to communicate between the dead and the living. Clairvoyant, mind reader, fortune teller, spiritualist. Wait a minute. So the media uses mediums to enter into your mind for the spirits, aka demons, to control your... Wait a minute. This sounds like something that the Bible warned about. This sounds like something that the Bible warned about. Let's go to Ephesians. Ephesians chapter 6. This sounds like something the Bible warned about, but many of you have never read the Bible, so I got to help y'all. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. If you don't believe that demons are real, you better watch those videos in Miami about the so-called alien invasion in Miami. If you don't think demons are real, you better go on TikTok and look at all those videos of people that share those stories about what? Shadow people, about what? Strange things just moving in their house. So now, Codename Rainbow, 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 what is that going into? The agenda to immoralize the planet. There's an agenda, y'all. An agenda built on lust. An agenda built on pornication, aka fornication. An agenda that is created to mentally manipulate people into immoral behaviors. Watch this. Watch this. We're going to touch on something else. And I'm going to touch on this because somebody reached out to me and they asked me to speak on this subject. So now we're going to bring it out. We gonna bring it out. Code name rainbow, rainbow, rainbow. Let's bring it out. This is for educational purposes only. This is to help and assist people that are dealing with certain things that are impacting the people. Okay? Let's get right into it. Codename Rainbow, Rainbow, Rainbow. There is a book by a woman by the name of Amy Contrada. There is a book by the name of the health hazards of, I'm going to use a substitute term. Let's use the word hominid. Okay? We're going to substitute the word for hominid, meaning we're talking about the alphabet, ABC, and everything in between. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We're talking about the helicopter people. We're talking about the tambourine player. We're talking about those that ride on both sides of the street, the bicycle rider. The very same thing that you saw dealing with Alicia Keys and Usher Raymond, guess what? It was warned about in the Bible. Watch this. Deuteronomy chapter 23 verse 17 says this. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are the lost tribes of Israel according to the Bible. The Bible forewarned that our women should not be going around prostrating themselves in illustrious ways for attention from men. The Bible also says that the men should not participate in prostrating themselves for the rainbow agenda. Shalom to you, Nehemiah. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. So, here's a book called The Health Hazards of Hominid. Bicycle. I'm using code words. Transformers, robots in disguise. That's what I'm talking about here. Okay? That rainbow flag that people are so prideful about. Y'all know pride comes before destruction. And America created a Pride Month. Wait a minute. Watch this. Watch this. Listen close. Sirach chapter 10, verse 12. The beginning of pride is when one departs from God and his heart is turned away from his maker. Watch this. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that has it shall pour out abomination, and therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly. Overthrew them utterly. So now there's a book called The Health Hazards of Hominid, the code name Rainbow, Rainbow, Rainbow. I'm using code words because TikTok is very sensitive. This is for educational purposes only. It's written by Amy Contrada. This book has over 1,800 cited sources going into a comprehensive collection of scientific data that backs up the Bible with an authoritative scientific source on this topic. When it comes to the topic of health, our youth, our children have the distinction of being among the most lied to generation about being in the rainbow, 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 rainbow community. This book, called The Health Hazards of Hominid, should be required reading for all health professionals, educators, legislators, graduate students, and parents. That's a quote. This book was so controversial that they removed the entire book off of Amazon. Somebody said, bro, you did not put up the correct scripture for Ecclesiasticus 9 verse 9. There's a book in the Bible called Ecclesiastes Mrs. Comments, and there's a book called Ecclesiasticus. The one I quoted from is called Ecclesiasticus, also known as the Book of Sirach. Mrs. Comments, have you heard of the book called Sirach? Yes or no? Correct. Spelled Sirach. If you haven't heard of this book, then go look it up. I quoted from the correct. You think I'm going to make a whole TikTok live and not know what I'm quoting from? Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Let me see if Pierre is coming up. Eddie Steinmine. Nope. Eddie, just sit in the audience. I got just one person that's going to come up on this discussion. I'm not accepting anybody to come up except for the brother that I reserved an appointment for him to speak on this matter. Okay, so please just sit in the audience. I appreciate you. Okay, so now the health hazards of hominid, or tambourine player answers the question of why should we be concerned about the rainbow agenda. Mainstream media and the normalization of this mental disorder has created a public health crisis that is affecting us all. Meanwhile, modern media gives little attention to the broader crisis, and the medical authorities deliver mixed messages to those that pose a high risk to this agenda, aka young people. There is an astoundingly disproportionate incidence of medical and psychological pathologies among bicycle men, bicycle women, and bicycle people. Yet, the general public knows little about the baneful nature of the hominid, meaning they don't understand the psychological impacts of this agenda, codename rainbow. Why is the rainbow a public health issue and not just a private one? Why has it been so publicized and so politicized that you can't even use certain terms on social media if you do not support rainbow? Why is it that many people, here's the guest that I wanted to come up. Let's come up to the platform, not my rest. Let me send you an invite, brother. So we could bring you up. All right, we got you connected. We just touched on the, and I'm gonna have you go in detail. We just touched on the basics of the book, just the title, the health of the rainbow. Please use code words such as rainbow, tambourine, and things of that nature. Okay. All right. So I didn't get a chance to touch on it, but you can mention it. Um, the fact that the agenda that's pushed on the rainbow used to be classified as a mental disorder, and it's definitely an agenda being pushed on the community, and they went out of their way to change it from a mental disorder to now normalize this. Let's get right into it. Welcome, Pierre. Welcome to the Forefront Radio.
Thank you. Welcome and peace to everyone. Yeah, so many years ago, the book is the DSM-4. I'm sure that's fine to say. Or not the DSM-4, but previous versions. It was understood. But the book, as you were bringing up, that people can pull up, what's so impressive about it is, as I shared with you, it literally justifies and verifies what not just the scriptures say, but most cultures universally find that, even the false religions and things like that. For the most part, it's understood that this behavior, the fruit of it, as per like this book shows, the 1800 citations, is something that's only beneficial if you want to have people in a state of destruction and subjugation. It can't bring forth life, And it also has certain issues that are unique psychologically and even physically, that is unique to given the behavior of how these people express their affection for another. So that's really the thing that people have to be aware of, because the key is they push for us to view this as an emotional thing. As I said to you, we all have family members, we have friends, we have coworkers who are part of this group, of this said community. But unfortunately, as I mentioned as well, and people can rack their brain, from what I can tell anecdotally, because I used to work in the mental health field, the many coworkers I worked with and young people, there was always almost an initiation process to get them to want to be part of this. And it wasn't something that they wanted to be part of. It was something that was, what's the word? Maybe you could say they were bullied into. You know, think of just like when
Indoctrinated,
we, yes,
manipulated, targeted,
indoctrinated.
things of that nature.
Yeah, I'll use one example, corn, aka adult entertainment, corn, right? One of the ways the people get themselves into this is they'll find children or young people and sit with them and watch this sort of said entertainment and content to sear a person's consciousness and normalize it, especially children are impressionable. So one of the ways you would prepare them, many people are on record who've been busted for this sort of stuff have said that was one of the tools that they used to prepare the person that they were going to have join their said community. So that's why
So
I
wait a
speak
minute.
out.
Hold on.
Mhm.
Let me make sure I understand this for the people that are in the chat. Let me make sure. You're saying to the audience then that there was an agenda to manipulate people to join certain communities and certain groups, codename Rainbow Rainbow, and they initiate these at very early ages. Is that correct?
Yes, the people who've done this on record, certain court cases and things you can find where the said subject that was part of the tool, because how we're designed, that's not our natural leaning. You have to be indoctrinated into it. Just like the famous study where they studied the genetics and they had to admit there's no genetic predisposition. It is a behavior. It is a choice. But the thing is, you can sort of take people's choice away by tricking them. I would use an example. Imagine all you get exposed to is eating McDonald's every day, right? And you're not allowed to know there's other food options and things out there, and that's the vast majority of the exposure that you have. Then isn't it logical your taste will be for McDonald's? So these said people, that's sort of how they help to mold the children's taste. That's why they want to talk to 5-year-olds about joining this community and showing them all of the ways that they express their said love for one another, because you have to, and they're on record as well, you have to get the child while they're early. And that's the process. There's a spiritual battle occurring where they're devastating the minds and the hearts of these young people, and then you think it's normal. That's like I said, the McDonald's example I gave. If anyone in the chat or anyone hearing this, if all you ever was exposed to daily was fast food, or all you got to drink and was shown soda, you would think that that's it, and that's the process. And one example I would use, notice they don't allow it to be on equal footing. If we wanted to play their game, we're not allowed to have our own month. We're not allowed to promote our ways that we express affection to our spouses and things. That's considered, I guess, hateful. But they are allowed to bring this to the forefront in your face. One other resource I would share too, there's a woman, she's passed away. Her name is Dr. Judith Reisman. I sent it to you, Brother Levi. People should look into her work. She does a great job of detailing how, quote, corn, aka adult entertainment, is literally a neurotoxin to your brain. I've spoken to this about this in the past. If you, quote, consume enough of this said entertainment, it will atrophy, aka shrink your brain. I kid you not. it will eat away at the gray matter of your brain. And that's why we have such a big OF culture where many young women, mainly that's who that industry is geared to, views that that it's a viable option. They think it's just a basic exchange of, they show certain things and they get compensated, but it never ends like that. And I would encourage people to go look into the stories of how they tell the women who've left this industry, how they talk about how psychologically, mentally, and physically devastated they were left, even though they made a lot of money. So again, it's the scriptures confirming itself, because there is, I believe, a inborn consequence. The Most High has put in certain consequences for sin to hopefully get us to stop certain behaviors. But that, so there's many judgments built in. So for example, if you are a young man or young woman consuming porn daily, aka adult entertainment, you will have physical afflictions that come about on you. And it's verified. There's tons of resources, things, even whole institutes that are not affiliated with the Bible, who are doing the research and showing man's own science, separate from the book that Brother Levi mentioned, that this thing is devastating the mental, physical, and spiritual health of people.
So let's touch briefly on this article. Only moms. My teen son signed me up for Only the Fans so he could get more pocket money. He fully supportive of my career. This person pimped his own mother, and the devil is giving him his scepter. The devil said, you out-deviled the devil. Here you go.
Yeah,
And people are normalizing this. Speak on it for a moment.
yeah, it's there's a interesting channel. If people want to see what I've noticed, there's a big time agenda. There's a channel that has millions of followers, and I'm not promoting it in terms of for people to join, but if you want to go use a discerning eye, use your spiritual lens to see how everything that is against the Most High is promoted. There's a channel called Love Don't Judge, and they literally highlight, and that's the key, as Brother Levi already mentioned, that judgment is good. You must always have judgment and discernment around things, or else you find yourself in trouble. But recently, they even did a story where there's a brother or two brothers who are in the so-called community we're discussing. They adopt a child, and one of the brothers, so then neither is the biological parent, but then one of the brothers turns around, and now that brother, know, and they're highlighting this and they're saying that this is normal. And of course, now the child has adopted one of the identities of that said community. So what we see with this young man, it's the same sort of thing. They give these stories a lot of traction to break down our firewalls. If we see enough of this, again, we start to remove discernment and judgment. The world is big into what's called moral relativism, where that's why you hear people saying my truth and things like that versus what is the truth. So that's what we have here with this young man and what he's doing with his mom, and who knows where the father is. But it's clearly a situation that is beyond out of order.
There's a Bible verse that goes right into what you're saying. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33. It says, be not deceived. Evil communication corrupts good manners. Evil communication corrupts good manners. So now can you touch briefly upon how mass communication, the dangers of mass communication of a certain anti-lifestyle can impact a society and devastated society?
Oh, I'm glad you just brought up that question. You just reminded me. And I could get the clip to you, but they did an undercover video with Corn, the famous website. I don't want to promote these websites, but one of the famous websites that's well known to push, quote, adult entertainment upon the masses, who also have for I don't even know if I can use that word, but let's say moving children about the country and handing them over. So they were busted for that. But what was really interesting, tied to this question you posed, the gentleman is on video. He is on record saying the real purpose of what they're doing is to help shape and mold people's taste. So even if you don't have a natural inclination for said behaviors or that community, using the material via video, what we consume with our eyes, the eyes is food too. We consume things via our eyes. That's how they want to shape the taste and break down all firewalls for all so-called straight men. They want to make sure that that's basically a thing of the past, where it's what we're having now, where it's anything goes. And if you stay steadfast to man and woman, then there's something wrong with you. And that's literally this big time media corporation who we know that what said group owns these people. That's what they're pushing. And so a group that are undercover recording where they got him on record speaking on this, that yes, they're being deceptive and purposely, like, here's the trick they added into the algorithm. Let's say you're someone that's consuming, quote, adult porn, right? In the algorithm, as you type in what you're looking for, he said then next they're going to suggest even something that is what you wouldn't like, but what they're trying to change your taste. So they will naturally put in stuff from that community in hopes that your eyes see it, and eventually you'll click on it. So that's just a
Exactly.
simple example.
Exactly. And the mental brainwashing is readily apparent where if you even speak in some way, shape, or form in regards to the negative impacts that it has on society, they say that you have poor manners. They say that you are rude. They say that you are various terms that they use. But the Bible clearly says in Leviticus 18, verse 18, thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is abomination. Not only does it touch on that, it says, neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therewith, neither shall any woman stand before the beast to lie down thereto. It is confusion. So not only do we have that people face, also people are looking at animals inappropriately. It also says that a man should not carnally lie with another man's wife, which is why we brought up the first text, the first picture in regards to Usher Raymond and Alicia Keys, because they're all in the same category: adultery, the CORN with the letter P, industry, right? People are consuming a lot of corn, as you say, and corn is not good for you, as you say. It starts off with men and women, then it leads off to other things. Boys hugging boys inappropriately, girl hugging girls inappropriately. People are hugging their cats in inappropriate ways. Do you understand what I'm saying? I,
Quick
I, I
fun
hope that's
fact.
clear to the audience.
I got a quick fun fact for the audience. You triggered my brain again. Mr. Dahmer, Jeffrey, right? Remember, Netflix celebrated him on their special. All of the people who historically have engaged in that sort of behavior, the one thing they find that they have in common is that these people binge watch porn. Kid you not, don't believe me, look it up. All of our serial, unaliving people, those who have a track record of serially unaliving people, they all have reported when they've done the psychologicals of them, including Jeffrey Dahmer, who was literally consuming the flesh of so-called black men. They all were mega users of corn. It is not entertainment, people. It is demonic. It's a stronger drug than I'd say anything physically illicit you can consume, in my opinion, given how it impacts you spiritually, and it really warps you. So I would mention that. People could look that up. And then as far as Usher, what a lot of people may have forgotten, he was sued and is paid out for passing around certain diseases to both men and women that he laid down with. And so I would be of the opinion part of why he got the Super Bowl is he's part of that community. I know it's hard for most people to believe, but all of these people that they idol worship, that's part of the rules to make your money. That's a whole nother subject. But I just want to share that. People can look it up. He paid out a lawsuit for passing on the disease to both men and women. So he's part of that community.
A lot of people in the entertainment realm, a lot of people in the entertainment world ride on both sides of the streets. Many of them are bicycles. They try to indoctrinate people at a very young age. If you notice, many of these celebrities try to bring 15-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds into the entertainment realm in order for them to perform. And then once they get them, they say, okay, got you. Notice all the TV stars. All those TV stars and actors and actresses that come from the Disney realm, that come from Nickelodeon realm, that come from the various musical, like Glee and all that, they always end up messed up. They always end up on some sort of psychotropic drugs or on recreational usage. You understand? So there is a demeaning factor that's going on, impacting people, and it's not just entertainment, folks. It is not just entertainment. We have to wake up from the strong
If
delusion.
people are struggling with this, one of the ways you can start to help yourself is there's apps and I think even websites where you can pay to get certain firewalls put up. So it basically it blocks the stuff for you so that you won't go in and access it. And I'd say for all parents too, if you have children, once they start knowing how to use the internet, that would be a preventative that you want to put in place to keep them from stumbling upon this sort of stuff, and or to help you start to gain self-control. Of course, you're going to need to pray, you're going to need to fast, but in terms of actual things that you can do to leverage as you transition yourself off of this stuff is setting up those firewalls. It's like if I'm trying to transition myself off of alcohol, I need to stop hanging out with my friends who drink alcohol. I shouldn't be at any bar, right? I don't want to be in any environment where I can access said alcohol because I'm trying to stay away from it. And so with the internet, that would be one of those things that you might want to consider if you're struggling with this issue. And even I would share with people nutritionally, there's certain proteins and amino acids, things you need to consume into your physical diet to go ahead and help you with the rebuilding of your brain, because this thing really messes up your brain. There's something your brain produces called dopamine, which helps you feel good. And so when you abuse that with corn, what happens is you need a stronger dopamine hit. And that's why they've done interviews of young men where they tell a story. They would watch things that literally just to get the dopamine rush, they would watch it. It's something that they never thought about they do in real life or anything, but they really abuse their brain so much. That's where the man and woman is just like blah. That's why literally that can't be the thing to excite you. You have to engage in more crazier things because the human brain is what's called very neuroplastic. And so based on behaviors and repetition, you could shape and mold your brain to basically become a voyeur. That's why a lot of marriages are suffering, where if one partner is involved in this, they no longer want to be with their said mate. They want the video. The video becomes the impetus of what can excite them, not the person.
So now, how do we help them spiritually to stop? The answers can be found in the Bible. In Proverbs chapter 28, verse 13, it says this: He that covers his sins shall not prosper, but whoso confesseth and forsakes, and forsakes them shall have mercy. So is there hope for you if you've dealt with the psychological disorder, the anti-lifestyle? Yes, there is hope for you. Acts chapter 3, verse 19 says, Repent ye therefore and be converted, and be converted, that your sins may be blotted out, when the time of refreshing shall come from the presence of the Lord. Meaning God is going to help you if you dig really deep. Like the brother just said, in order for you to know you're an alcoholic, you have to acknowledge it first. So once you realize that there was an issue that was implanted in you at an early age during your childhood, now you have to progressively purge yourself of these things. You have to confess it and forsake it. You have to confess it, meaning you have to say, look, I have a problem in this area. I acknowledge the problem that I have, and I'm going to end it. I'm going to stop it. That's how you overcome. Because guess what? The Bible says this. Romans chapter 12. This is the medicine. I know sometimes medicine does not taste good, but medicine is good for you. Romans chapter 12, verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. It all starts in your mind. What do you want to change about yourself? Because the Bible says, as a man or woman thinks, so is he. If you say, I am royalty, I am chosen, I am pure, then you're going to live like that. If you say to yourself every day and you pray and you read and you fast, you can purge these evil spirits from you. Watch this. Let's go back to Psalms again. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 28, verse 13. He that covers his sins shall not prosper, but whoso confesses and forsakes them shall have mercy. So if you were indoctrinated at an early age to an anti-lifestyle, if you were indoctrinated at an early age to view or eat corn, and it was bad for you, and you know now as an adult that it's bad for you, work on yourself. Don't give up. Don't give up. Okay? We know of many stories of people that have been afflicted by these means, and they were able to purge themselves of this spiritual venom. Okay? I liken it to a virus or a parasite. Okay? When it comes to certain anti-lifestyle, certain behavioral traits, when it's placed upon a child at an early age, it's like a virus. The only medicine now is the Bible, the scriptures, because it's a spiritual leech. It's a spiritual demon. It's a negative frequency that was placed in you that you have to purge now. We're all a work in progress. So don't give up on yourself. Be strong to admit it and realize that it's impacting you, and then say, this is the steps that I'm going to take to overcome it. You can do it. You can overcome these various things. Go ahead, brother.
I got two quick things for the community to look into. There's something called the Most High created called St. John's wort. So St. John's wort, amazing. Now, to be clear, this is not medical advice. If you are on psychotropics, then you should steer clear of this stuff. You need to work yourself off. And the reason why I say that is because this plant has been found amazing for mood. When they've studied it against depression, it was so impressive. They noticed it'll do what the medications do, and they put that aside. And then there's something too called 5-HTP. It's the precursor to you making the dopamine. When you consume lots of corn, you have low dopamine. So you need to consume something like 5-HTP, which helps you make serotonin and then helps you make dopamine. So I will share that. I just need to mute for a moment, and then I'll be right back on.
All right. While we're waiting for the brother to come back, let's touch briefly on an article in current events. Let's touch briefly on an article in current events. So how many of you have heard of the Tuskegee syphilis experiment? How many of you have heard about that? How many of you heard of the Tuskegee syphilis experiment. How many of you have heard about that? Let's touch on that briefly as news. All right. So somebody says, haven't heard about it at all. Okay, let's touch on the Tuskegee situation first, and then I'll touch on the article related to it. Okay, just for those that are not aware. So the Tuskegee syphilis experiment was a experiment that happened at Tuskegee University where Black people were injected with syphilis, and they did not know that they were injected with syphilis. This was an experiment that began around 1932 at a time when there was no cure for syphilis, a contagious venereal disease. Many Black people were recruited by this organization in order for them to promise them medical care, free care. Okay? Now, the problem is 600 African American men in Macon County, Alabama, were enrolled in the project, and they were not told that they were injected with this virus, which aimed to study the full progression of the disease, meaning the people that were responsible for this experiment in the United States of America were so wicked and so evil that they gave people a disease just to see what happened to them. That parallels the recent situation that happened in 2019, does it not? Where they gave them certain snake bites and snake venoms to see what would happen to them. That's what happened, y'all. Y'all need to wake up to see the reality of the situation we're in. Okay? So watch this. Listen close. We're going to go to the article as it relates to this particular topic. One moment. Let me pull up the article. So, a new $5 million scholarship fund created for the descendants of this particular experiment has now been proposed. The descendants of Black men who were affected by the notorious Tuskegee syphilis experiments may soon receive financial relief through a new scholarship fund. Global nonprofit the CDC Foundation recently announced the launch of the Voices Today for Change Tomorrow scholarship program, which aims to raise $5 million endowment to support existing Voices of Our Father's Legacy Foundation scholarship. These scholarships are intended to amplify the voices of the next generation, allowing them to honor the life experiences of their ancestors while pursuing innovative solutions across their fields of study. So now, here's why there's a problem with that. Instead of saying, hey, pay the descendants of people impacting this directly, they said, no, just give them scholarships. No, give them jobs. They're putting the money right back in the oppressor's hand. That money isn't going to the people for them to make a decision on what to do. No, they say, oh, send it to this university, send it to this college, and just give them a so-called free education so they can go look for a job. Make it make sense, man. You back, not my rest?
Yeah. It's interesting too. I would encourage people. This is one of my foundational things when I started my around natural health. Medical apartheid, people, look it up. Because the history is they always tell us that we are inferior, but this whole medical system, they tested on us. One of my favorite stories is when there were certain slaves in the field after, quote, master used all of his pharmakia, there would tend to be one of our people that knows about the plants and the herbs for healing to recover, and then grudgingly they would bring him in to help Master heal, only after their stuff hasn't worked. But going back to this CDC stuff, keep in mind, I would ask people to listen to the name Center for Disease Control. Control. Let me say it one more time. Control. Not Center for Disease Healing. Control. So I'll let you figure that out, what that means. But keep in mind, they are invested in making money from the pokey thing. And this is one of the stains that they don't like to talk about when they try to shame us for staying away from their system when it comes to mental health and all these other things. They did this on purpose. And as Brother Levi mentioned, this is actually marketing for them because the money is already how it can be spent. You understand? They don't have any sort of autonomy around what they would want to do with this money. They're saying we're going to allow you to go to our schools to study whatever you want for free, and of course, eventually come to work for us. And I would tie this back in part of, with my awakening and how the Lord allowed me to have a different path. When I used to work in mental health, one of the reasons I was so happy to get out and I prayed about was when we did, as of I left around 2021. Yeah, 2021, all of my training that final school year, all of my trainings was all around the said rainbow. Everything was about their mental health, their needs, this and that. Now, keep in mind, a standard practitioner like myself, only about 2% of my caseload. So let's say I got 20 students. At that time, only about 2 of them identified with said lifestyle. So I would ask the presenters, like, what do we do to serve all of our children? Children are dealing with homelessness and all of these other issues, but you're giving me continuing education, aka indoctrination, for my license, and I kid you not, 85% of all of my trainings always surrounded that topic. So I knew what it was.
So that means there was an agenda being pushed to deviate all people towards an anti-lifestyle, Greco-Roman behavioral traits. So now someone said, where should we go for mental health help? So now, instead of seeking after a pill or medication, there are self-help books out there for you to read. Also, I can tell you with the utmost certainty that when I've encountered individuals dealing with spiritual affliction, because depression, anxiety, and various things of that nature, that's something spiritual, not just mental. And I told them, sit for 30 days and read daily. Read the book of Psalms, read the book of Proverbs, read the book of Sirach, read the Gospels. Once they did that, they came back to me and gave me positive results on changes in their mood, changes in their behavior that led towards the better. Some things that people are afflicted with, you have to pray and fast about. Some things that you're dealing with is not going to be assisted with you by just sitting on someone's dirty couch talking about your problems. You need to dig real deep and deal with your issues, okay? I hope that helps. I hope that helps. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he, okay? As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. I've assisted people to get off of Prozac. I've assisted people to get off of Valium just by using the Bible. And through their faith in God, not through anything I've done, but through their faith in God and seeking for healing, they addressed their concerns and they turned out for the better. Okay? Anything you're dealing with, the Bible has solutions for. We just read about certain attributes of society that are being pushed and how these anti lifestyles can be alleviated by the Bible. We also read a book, we read excerpts about a book named The Health Hazards of the Hominid that can assist people to stop the anti behavior that's being pushed. Codename Rainbow Rainbow. So I hope this episode helped a lot of people dealing with adultery, dealing with corn consumption, dealing with the rainbow and the bicycle situation, that they can seek assistance through spiritual means and get the help that they deserve. Do you have any remaining comments that you'd like to share now, my rest?
Sure. What I would add on with what Brother Levi said, because as the scriptures mention about how the plants and the herbs, and I'm not talking, pot people, but there are things like I mentioned with the St. John's wort and other things that you can use that really will help stabilize your body safely. Because for just like what Brother Levi said, the spiritual aspect is huge, and you go to the scriptures for that. But to support your body physically, there's a great film. People could go to archive.org and see it for free. It's literally called The Vitamin Movie, where they talk about with secular science how they've analyzed all of these various nutrients that are found in food and how it's helped people alleviate their depression and things like that. Because, I'm big on trying to keep people away from the dangers of the psychotropics. So the Most High, just like the spiritual answer here for us, physically how to rebuild your temple, it's going to be in his substances. So that would be a resource. I'd say you'd want to start there. And there's a great institute called orthomolecular.org. Now, the one caveat I'll say is the issue is they talk about it in isolates. So, but everything they talk about there, they call it orthomolecular medicine. It should be orthomolecular nutrition. They have tons of data, tons of research showing you how the different nutrients and minerals the Most High has put in the food, how it can alleviate things and help with anxiety and all this stuff. So those would be two really great resources for people to start to sort of teach themselves how they can better help themselves.
All praises to the Most High. This was another episode of the Forefront Radio. We talked on this episode about Codename Rainbow. Refrain from adultery, refrain from the various things that will impact the people. I hope this episode was insightful. And with that, we say peace to the 12. Shalom.
Peace.
Why are you so angry? So creepy.